Welcome to Luxury Beast YouTube channel where we can explore all topics related to luxury. For more upcoming videos, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Like, comment, and share to your friends. Heist movies are among the most thrilling things to watch. The most exciting aspect is the getaway, which comes after careful planning are spent investigating on the location, slick black attire, and fast cars. Movies like Baby Driver, Drive, and Ocean's 11 have shown the world how amazing fictional heists can be. But actuality can be even more spectacular than fiction. We're going to explore one of the most sophisticated heists in history as a result today. The Antwerp Diamond Theft. The Diamond Quarter, sometimes referred as the Antwerp Diamond District, is a 1 square mile region in the center of Antwerp, Belgium, the world's diamond capital. 80% of the world's diamonds pass through Antwerp before being polished, set in jewelry, and eventually sold. As of 2017, there were 100,600 diamond dealers within the area's 1 square mile, and 30,000 people were employed there. Many of them were employed by the Antwerp World Diamond Hub. Many diamond dealers, polishers, and retailers can set up shop at the Antwerp World Diamond Center, which acts as a central hub. Business owners can store their valuable products in safety deposit boxes and extremely secure vaults located beneath the building. And for many years, they felt reasonably secure keeping their gems there. There are cameras operating around the clock on every street corner, building balcony, and business in the district alone. A single button can cause steel barriers to rise up from the street, sealing the perimeter and preventing any automobiles from leaving the area. If someone were to manage to elude the cameras and flee with a suitcase full of diamonds. In addition, there is security within the building. The Antwerp Diamond Center featured a vault that has 2 levels underground and had 10 distinct security systems to guarantee the safety of the diamonds, silver, and other valuables. An amazing exterior security camera was installed in the vault. The vault's original door was a 3-ton solid steel door with a combination dial that had 100 million different combinations, making it nearly impossible for anyone to guess the right code. This door was built to resist up to 12 hours of continuous drilling. A key lock that could allegedly only be unlocked with a unique key that couldn't be copied was located next to the combination dial. If any stranger attempted to forcefully open the door, they would be detected right away since the seismic alarm would sound at even the slightest movement of the door frame. A magnetic sensor would sound an alarm if the door were to be opened. Normally, it would seem that warning people that the vault has been breached is sufficient protection. Don't you think so? The Antwerp World Diamond Center obviously didn't consider it, as that is merely the beginning. If you manage to get past all of the security measures, you would then have to face the cameras and sensors after passing the first 3-ton door, which featured a steel grate that needed a different key to open. A 24-hour-a-day interior security camera was active. If you did manage to enter, you'd have to do so in total darkness, for a light sensor was set to go off if any light, even flashlights, was present in the space. Oh, and if someone entered the room, a heat and motion alarm were programmed to sound, so you'd also have to somehow avoid radiating any body heat. The building didn't even have a 24-hour security guard on the floor to keep an eye on things because all of these security measures were so strong and thought to be so secure. Why specifically would they require one? They had a cutting-edge security technology worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in a structure in one of the world's most closely watched neighborhoods. That's why it came as such a shock to concierge George Diaz de Souza on Monday, February 17, 2003, when he entered the vault in the early morning hours to find the lights on, millions of dollars worth of goods scattered on the floor, and all of the safety deposit boxes wide open with more than 100 $100 million worth of gems and jewelry missing. But how had this come about? For several days, the police were at a loss for explanations with no direct proof at the scene of the crime. No surveillance film and no leads. It was simply a perfect heist. That is, until a hunter came across a mound of trash in the woods that contained a salami sandwich, an abandoned video, and some envelopes that would eventually point the investigators in the direction of the mastermind behind the elaborate crime. Notar Bartolo Leonardo. When he was just 6 years old, Leonardo Notarbartolo stole $8 from the neighborhood milkman, which was how he started at his start in crime. Leonardo had spent many years honing his craft by the year 2000 and he was prepared to move on. 3 years prior to the theft, he rented an office space in the Antwerp World Diamond Center and utilized those 3 years to earn the respect of the other employees. He pretended to be an Italian diamond broker, which gave him an access to the vault levels of the tower using a unique card. Additionally, he gained insider information about the structure as a result, which he undoubtedly used for obvious reasons. Photography and videography were not permitted inside the building. However, Leonardo ignored this rule and began entering the vault and inspecting the structure with a camera he had hidden within the cap of a pen that he was wearing in the front of his suit. He was a well-liked businessman in the building, so no one paid him much attention and no one had any suspicions. In order to record the code guards entered to get past the initial line of defense, Leonardo was able to attach a small camera to the vault's exterior ceiling. An ordinary-looking fire extinguisher nearby that actually included a sensor concealed inside a secret compartment received the data from this camera and transmitted it to it. Leonardo could then easily and swiftly obtain the information without raising any red flags. Leonardo captured every camera, every sensor, and every aspect of the area as he took weeks to record the interior of the vault. In fact, according to Leonardo, he and his team of 4 were able to make an exact replica of the vault to rehearse in. I must admit, I tend to trust Leonardo because I can't think of any other way they could have managed pulling off anything this big. The day before the theft, Leonardo went to his safety deposit box as usual. Once inside the vault, he sprayed women's hairspray on the thermal and motion sensor cameras to disable them. The near abandoned office building, which shared a private courtyard with the Diamond Center, was unlocked by the king. The party used a ladder they had hid on the property days previously to descend to this garden, which was below a tiny balcony in the Diamond Center. But as they got to the balcony, they encountered an infrared sensor. Fortunately, Genius was prepared. He snuck forward and then put the improvised polyester shield directly in front of the sensor to conceal his thermal signal. He then turned off a window alarm, allowing the entire party to enter the building without being seen. And they used the 24-hour cart Leonardo had been given when renting the office space in the building to reach the vault floors. When he arrived at the vault, Genius created another handmade shield. This time, aluminum was used to disable the vault's magnetic sensor. The key was their next move, but they already knew the code to open the safe. Even after going to all the trouble to produce a huge key, the King of Keys used the camera footage before the heist to duplicate it. Never having to use it, the crew instead went to the neighboring unlocked utility room that they had seen guards enter before entering into the vault. The original vault key was there waiting to be discovered. The in-duplicate key had already been duplicated despite all the security procedures and was readily removed from an unlocked cupboard. Before the real fun started in the dark, the team turned out the lights in the hallway. Once inside, the King of Keys opened the following gate. By removing the plastic coating from the system cables and rerouting the circuit to an exposed wire, the monster was able to disable all the sensors in the room as it went forward in the complete darkness and raised a ceiling panel. The remaining light sensor was then covered in black tape as an added measure of safety, and the heat sensors were next shielded with styrofoam boxes. The squad started by using a hand-cranked drill to unlock the security boxes, after which the diamonds, silver, and jewelry were thrown into a duffel bags. The squad finished packing their duffel bags with $100 million worth of items at 5:30 a.m. After leaving the duffel bags in Leonardo's car, they proceeded to meet him on foot at an apartment before continuing on foot. By all accounts, it was a cunning plot since they left no DNA traces or videos. The authorities were completely baffled as to how they were able to pull it off. How else did they get discovered? Well, to be honest, one of them became agitated. The group's other members all shipped their new wealth to Italy. Speedy had a different idea from Leonardo, and Speedy's original plan to burn everything that connected them to the crime in France. Prior to leaving Belgium, Speedy had a panic attack while Leonardo continued to explore the lonely forests in search of a suitable location to burn their trash. Speedy threw the evidence into the woods while standing next to the automobile. Diamonds littered the mud, security film draped from the trees like a Christmas garland, and receipts for the tools they had used were strewn about the area like a confetti. Leonardo understood that they had limited options. He felt it would be best to leave the area and ordered Speedy back into the car. Who, after all, would discover their rubbish in such a remote area, and who would ever report it to the police? They were unfortunate because there was a person who was always phoning the police over rubbish. They had deposited their junk on a few acres that belonged to August Van Camp. Teenagers routinely held parties on the isolated piece of land, which enraged Van Camp and led to him repeatedly phoning the police to report garbage. When Van Camp called to report finding envelopes from the Antwerp Diamond Center, the police handled the situation by rolling their eyes and promised to check into it even if they wouldn't. The evidence directly led them to Leonardo, who was like a true crime boss, and the police arrived there in a matter of minutes. Despite the fact that he kept his collaborators' identities a secret, the evidence pointed police right to them. Leonardo received a 10-year prison term. Speedy, whose true name was Pietro Tavano, received a 5-year term. The monster Ferdinando Finotto and the genius Elio De Honorio received 5-year sentences as well. The King of Keys is the lone person who hasn't been found. The $100 million worth of valuables has never been found, making the Antwerp diamond theft the biggest robbery of all time and the largest diamond heist in history. This concludes the story of the Antwerp diamond heist. What would you do if you had diamonds worth $100 million? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Please like and share.